Party. I'm not part of the party that says, well, we can't do it. So let's talk about all of this. I'm joined by Maria Cardona, a Clinton supporter and Democratic strategist, and Jonathan Ticini. He's the author of The Essential Bernie Sanders and His Vision for America. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you, Carol. Good morning.
Good
nice to have you
Carol.
both here. So, Jonathan, should Bernie Sanders cool it with the attacks?
I want to answer that, but actually, I want to start with something very positive that I think Maria and I could potentially agree on.
Oh my.
Maybe it's no. I like Maria. We have good conversations off camera, and I'm doing it. Maybe it's because it's Earth Day. It's the first day of the first night of Passover, and I'm about to go to the Seder I've been going to for 20 years with my friends Ed and Ethel. So I'm feeling big spirited. You know, the big issue that I don't want us to forget is what happened in New York with the loss of 126,000 voters who were, they were disenfranchised from voting. And this, I want to say quickly, this affected both Clinton supporters and Sanders supporters. This wasn't some conspiracy. And I think it goes to something to the heart of our democratic process that I hope that we, both factions, if you will, both wings, both supporters of candidates can come together at the convention and address. We've had a very messy process throughout the campaign. You look at Utah, where there were huge lines and they had to photocopy ballots. We've got to figure this out. I think we should have same-day registration for our primaries and caucuses. We can debate that, but I think we really need to address that at the convention. And maybe I'll give Maria, before I go to the other thing, and let Maria address that before I jump in on
No, and I do think that most voters on both sides think that you're right, that we do need to look at these things. But it is what it is at the moment.
Yeah,
and Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders are running to win to become the Democratic nominee. So I'll ask you again, Jonathan, should Bernie Sanders cool it?
I was trying to be nice and positive. So the answer is sort of what Bernie said in the lead-up. Look, if you took a real, honest look going back to the early part of the campaign, there has been a relentless negative attack against Bernie, both falsehoods and outright, I think, lies, once we were trying to correct those, about Bernie Sanders' position, the health care position, what it would do to the Affordable Care Act, which the PolitiFact rated mostly false, the attacks against his plan. And you go all the way up till now when the attacks by Bill Clinton when he said...
We're at a fork in the road. We're at a fork in the road. So maybe both candidates should cool it.
Let me finish, though, because I think this is important. There's a distinction between personal attacks and legitimate criticism. I do not think that we should at all stop the attempt to talk about the issues. We should not, for example, draw back from continuing to ask Hillary Clinton to release the Wall Street transcripts 77 days now. And the reason for that, Carol, is because it's a fundamental question for our government because of legalized corruption. I want to underscore legal corruption is bought and sold to lobbyists and Wall Street donors. This is a fundamental question for our country.
And I think many Democrats would agree with you there, and that is a policy issue, but that's different, Maria, isn't it, from saying that Hillary Clinton isn't qualified to be president or has bad judgment?
Absolutely, and Jonathan lost me right there at the very end. I was agreeing with him on everything up until the very end, where I do think that the Sanders campaign and Senator Sanders himself, they have a choice to make moving forward. If they want to continue to hurt the party and hurt our chances of winning in November, then they can continue with these character attacks. Because let's be very clear, the issue that Jonathan brings up is a character attack against Secretary Clinton, because Senator Sanders and his campaign have never been able to point to anything tangible that would prove any connection to the connections that they're trying to make between her taking money from Wall Street and her speeches and any kind of position that she has changed. So they're impugning her character, they're impugning her honesty. What we have seen in New York and in the other places, all the primaries and caucuses that she has won, is that that is not something that voters care about. They want to talk about the issues. So let me go back to something that Jonathan brought up where I do agree. Let's talk about the issues. And the candidates' positions on the issues are fair game moving forward, and that's where we should be making the contrast.
And I